Dad told me to never wake him up in the middle of the night again. Saw a post on here that reminded me of my innocent compliance that turned into malicious compliance. I was 9 years old and woke up from a nightmare. I was scared and couldn't go back to sleep. So I woke up my dad for comfort. He told me to go back to bed and never wake him up for anything ever again. I rarely woke him up for anything, but I made sure not to. A week goes by and it's the weekend, so I'm allowed to sleep on the couch and watch TV. I get up to go pee in the middle of the night, and as I'm walking back, I hear a tapping on the front door. I'm frozen in fear already, and I hear the person trying to open the door for what felt like 3 minutes. They stop, and I see their shadow go across our front yard. I'm still standing there shocked, but glad it was over. Unfortunately, they left to go to the backyard. I could see them, because I was still standing there, trying for the back door. And then I see their hand reach through the doggy door to grab the handle. They were just 2 inches away from it. I was holding my breath at this point. They finally give up and I muster the courage to move again and go back to sleep. The next morning I tell my dad and stepmom about it. They are freaking out and asking, why didn't I wake them up? I reply that I was told not to for anything, and they said it's okay in emergencies. My little brain at the time didn't get it because the nightmare I had felt like an emergency, haha. Ew, how scary to see a hand come in through the doggy door. That's some nightmare fuel right there. That was a messed up thing to say to a 9-year-old. 2. You can't help when you have a nightmare. And they suck. I would sleep on the floor next to my parents' bed when I woke up from a nightmare. Man, if that were my house and my 9-year-old saw an arm coming through a dog door, she'd shove a knife into it. That kid don't play. Nothing malicious you did in that. But it's a good story and a good lesson for people not to make overly broad commands. It's a bit of a jerk move for a parent to not be willing to comfort a kid who has had a nightmare. So far as I was concerned, that was an important thing to help my kids with. Lol reminds me of the time my nurse mother yelled at me for daring to suggest I might be getting pneumonia. It was E. coli. I spent about 5 hours purging every single bit of liquid from my entire body out of every orifice. And when I finally got the courage to call 911, I begged them not to use the lights or sirens because I'd get in trouble, lol. Doctor said if I'd waited another hour I would have been dead from dehydration. Isn't that hilarious? My mother pretended my illness didn't exist either. Not a single "get better soon" or "should I stock up on chicken noodle soup" or even "ah, that sucks." She legitimately hated me, lol. Pretty sure she wished the E. coli killed me. Tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy. I was told I could only wake my parents up if someone was bleeding. They didn't expect that to happen when I accidentally hit myself in the face with a garden sprinkler. My dad worked nights and slept during the day. This was sometime in the afternoon. A 9-year-old having a nightmare deserves a bit more attention. I hope your dad gave it some thought after this. Reminds me of the time I was 17 and I text mom why the house alarm was going off. She replied because she set the alarm. I'm so glad she thought I was so stupid that I couldn't put 2 and 2 together. I mean, I'd only been turning off the alarm after coming home in this particular house for 5 years. Usually the house alarm didn't go off until after I opened the door. But I'm so glad that I learned that day that it goes off before entering the house. I just went in because I was suicidal anyway. Unfortunately, there was no one to help put me out of my misery. It was the stupid dogs who set it off. And my folks wonder why I left the country 3 months after graduating college and refused to return, even after 5 years. Expected disaster girl ending. On That's How I Became an Orphan. You gotta be extremely irresponsible to tell a kid something like that. Like, bro, WTF if there is a fire, an intruder, whatever crazy thing that can happen. My kid 9 just found someone on our porch the other month. I grabbed the gun and scared them off. He just bragged about how he found him. Lucky I didn't shoot the guy.
Oh.
We never woke my dad up unless we had to. He worked nights, so there were plenty of times. But he tended to wake up swinging that way. Black eyes and bruises if you didn't do it safely. But the most peaceful person I knew until his family was threatened. Yeah, that's why I couldn't have a doggy door. When I was a kid, my house got burgled while I was at school and the parents at school. Coming home to a crowbar left on the dining table was terrifying. I was a latchkey kid. I don't remember much else of what happened after that. Besides being upset they raided my piggy bank. I'd left the door of it open. Point of egress was the window over the washer in the laundry room. That had a fan in it as the laundry room wasn't under central AC. They got the crowbar from our garage and used that to force open the door to the kitchen. I don't know if they were ever caught. I don't even remember if police showed up. I do remember that afterward, parents had bars installed over the laundry room window so the fan could go back up. And metal plates were put around the doorknob and deadbolt of the kitchen door. Had a job where I could bring my dog. Changed jobs. And she needed to stay home. Come home one day, and there is 2 fingernails and a very small smear of blood on the floor in front of the doggy door.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.